The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of December 30, 2024. It shows Tessa Porter collapsing into Ian Ward's arms. Danny Romalotti surprises Christine Blair on New Year's Eve. Plus, Victor Newman offers a toast to Claire Grace Newman and Nikki Newman. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up next week in the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Tessa Porter collapses. Y&R spoilers for the week of December 30 reveal that Tessa will fall into a dangerous trap. Ian befriended Tessa while she was working at Society. Ian used the name Warren Masters and even got Tessa to show him pictures of Area Porter Copeland. In a weekly preview clip, Tessa is stumbling out of Society wearing a purple dress. The minute that Tessa walks out the door, it is clear something is very wrong. Tessa is hunched over a bit while stumbling. Of course, Ian is right there to catch Tessa as she falls. Y&R spoilers. Ian Ward strikes. When Tessa comes out the door, Ian is right there waiting. Ian pretends to have a question for Tessa. As Tessa stumbles out, Ian says, "Oh, there you are. I forgot to ask you." That is the moment Tessa can't walk on her own anymore. Tessa is able to mutter that she can't breathe, then falls into Ian's arms. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Danny Romalotti's surprise. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of December 30 reveal that Danny and Christine somehow get separated during New Year's Eve. It is shown in the preview clip that Christine is at a bar sipping a cocktail. Christine is wearing a very sparkly dress or top as well. Christine nearly spills her drink when Danny comes up behind her. Christine is overjoyed that Danny has found her before the clock struck 12. Y&R spoilers. Week of December 30, 2024. Next week, Victor will offer a New Year's toast to Claire and Nikki. It seems that everyone in the Newman family has high hopes for 2025. However, Ian and Jordan have their killer resolutions. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of December 30, 2024? What are your predictions for Danny, Christine, Victor, and Nikki? What does the future hold for Claire, Tessa, Ian, Jordan, and the rest of the Genoa City residents? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Jolie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, December 30, reveal that Nick Newman will once again find himself in a position where he has to defend Sharon Newman. Now that more details are coming to light through Sharon's hypnosis sessions, Nick will be more committed than ever to proving her innocence. However, Victor Newman and Nikki Newman will have some concerns once they get updates on Sharon's story changes. It sounds like Nikki and Victor will be a couple of skeptics when it comes to Sharon's new claims. It may seem awfully convenient for Sharon to suddenly remember that another person in the apartment wiped Heather Stevens off the map. Victor and Nikki will grill Nick about his defense of Sharon, so they may worry he's setting himself up for disappointment. Nevertheless, Nick will refuse to waver on his belief in Sharon and will plan to prove to everyone that someone else is guilty. Jordan and Ian Ward are the real guilty parties in all this, so Y&R spoilers say they're about to add to their list of crimes. Ian's set to do something dangerous and will rely on Jordan's help to pull it off. This may have something to do with drugging Tessa Porter and setting some medical drama in motion. In the preview video for the week of December 30, January 3, Tessa can be seen gasping for air and looking like she's about to fall unconscious as Ian steadies her. Will Jordan help Ian with Tessa's snatching? What will Jordan's risky role be as this plot with Ian takes another terrible turn? Over with Danny Romalotti, he'll race against time and run into some challenges along the way. Danny and Christine Blair will both face some comical curveballs that force them apart on New Year's Eve. However, Danny will be determined to reunite with Christine for a kiss at the stroke of midnight. Christine will thankfully get the lip lock she's been waiting for during all the New Year's Eve festivities. The Young and the Restless spoilers say multiple shockers are brewing as 2024 winds down, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the wild news to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers preview video for the week of December 30, January 3 reveals that there'll be some New Year's Eve celebrations in Genoa City. It looks like Victor Newman will ring in the new year with Nikki Newman and Claire Newman at the ranch since he'll propose a toast there. After Victor raises a glass to Newman's near and far, he'll make a prediction and hope that this will be the best year of all. Unfortunately, Victor won't realize danger is lurking thanks to Jordan and Ian Ward's secret plot. I&R's weekly preview video also features Danny Romalotti putting his hands over Christine Blair's eyes before revealing that he's made it home in time for a New Year's Eve kiss. Since there'll be some hurdles that threaten to derail Christine and Danny's midnight smooch, it'll be a nice surprise when they're able to come together. Danny and Christine will have a chance to end 2024 on the best note possible. At Society, Ian will continue setting his Tessa Porter trap, and it's about to sink to sinister levels. I&R's promo clip shows Tessa staggering out the door and insisting she can't breathe as she falls into Ian's arms. It's obvious that Ian will be lying in wait for Tessa outside, so he'll presumably be expecting this medical crisis. It sounds like Ian may drug Tessa and intentionally cause her health to head downhill fast. Of course, fans will be curious to see what Ian's next step will be. Will Tessa pass out and give Ian the opportunity to kidnap her for the second stage of his plan? Whatever the case, Tessa is about to land in grave danger as Ian and Jordan's scheme heats up. Maria Copeland will get updates on some alarming news eventually, so stay tuned for all the escalating drama. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Jordan and Ian still have plenty of tricks up their sleeves, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, December 27, 2024, are here. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Abby Winters to get suspicious of Ian Ward. Coming up on The Young and the Restless, Nate Hastings experiences a setback in finding Damien. Plus, Chelsea Lawson shares disturbing news with Adam Newman. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victor Newman support. Y&R spoilers for Friday, December 27 reveal that Victor Newman has switched gears when it comes to Cole Howard. After Cole and Michael Baldwin had Jordan transferred to a real prison, Victor was furious with both of them. Victor suddenly didn't want Cole anywhere near Victoria Newman. Over Christmas, Victor suddenly decided to give Cole his blessing regarding Victoria. However, Victoria wasn't there as she was homesick. So now that Cole has Victor's blessing, Victoria might be the next to hear the news. Y&R spoilers, Abby Winters suspects. On Friday, December 27, Ian and Jordan will continue with their plan. Ian has been busy eavesdropping and has some more intel thanks to Phyllis and Billy Abbott talking so loudly during a private conversation. Lately, Ian has been befriending Tessa Porter. Tessa even showed Warren Masters, aka Ian, a photo of her and Maria Copeland's baby, Aria Porter Copeland. At some point, Abby could become suspicious of Ian. It could be something as simple as a bad feeling. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Chelsea Lawson's disturbing news. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, December 27 reveal that Chelsea will have some disturbing news to report. It's not clear what this news is, but Chelsea turns to Adam. So it must have something to do with Connor Newman. Of course, it's also possible that Chelsea gets worried about Billy, or it could have something to do with Sharon Newman as well. Y&R spoilers, Friday, December 27, 2024. In tomorrow's episode, fans will also see Nate and Audra Charles encounter a problem in Los Angeles. Denise Tolliver told Nate and Amy Lewis that she found Damien. However, by the time Nate and Audra get to La, Damien might be gone. The new character won't debut until January 8, 2025, so it won't be too much longer. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Friday, December 27, 2024? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Nick has been working overtime on The Young and the Restless. He's been there for Sharon, he's been there for Phyllis, he's been there for Mariah and Faith and Victor, and he found time to run out and get a Christmas tree so everyone can celebrate the season in style. Nick thinks he's got it all under control. We hate to be the party poopers, but isn't there a tiny little niggling pull at the back of Nick's mind that he's forgotten something or someone? What child is this? Where is Tracy Diane? We know we ask this a lot, but for reals, it's Christmas. Nick insisted that Sharon had to mark the holiday in some way. He went out and bought a tree, then helped decorate it along with Mariah, Tessa, and Faith. Sure, Phyllis burst in with her usual rant about how Sharon ruined her beloved son and granddaughter's, life. But then she left again and Christmas was back on. At least Mariah and Tessa made a point of saying that Aria was at home with her very generous babysitter. But where is Tracy Diane? My two dads. When Adam first returned to town, he fought Nick for custody of Christian. Nick argued that while Adam was the boy's biological father, Nick had raised him and loved him, and Christian would be terribly confused to be taken away from his real dad. We agreed then, but it's starting to get a little spotty now. Adam has certainly spent more time with Connor than Nick has with Christian. Maybe it's time for Nick to hand the boy over, if he even knows where Christian is these days. Gather up the exiles. Chelsea has already laid claim to Johnny, even though she gave him up at birth, and Victoria has been his real mother ever since. Adam should do the same with Christian. That way, the two of them can have all the children. To be fair, they're the only ones who actually take care of the one they have. They can handle more. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victor Newman recently decided to let go of old grudges and give Cole Howard some fantastic news. Although Victor wasn't pleased about Cole and Michael Baldwin derailing his Jordan dungeon plot, he's ready to move past all that now. Victor is impressed with what a great father Cole's been to Claire Newman since she came back into the picture. Since Victor can tell Cole's good at his core, he no longer plans to stand in the way of his future with Victoria Newman. As long as Cole keeps treating Victoria right, Victor isn't going to interfere. Since Victor is such a big believer in families coming together, he no doubt sees the potential for Claire's parents to get a blissful ending to their love story. Naturally, we should start making some predictions and considering what this means for Victoria and Cole's next chapter. Since Victor isn't holding them back, will Cole decide to pop the question? Cole has been patient with Victoria, but we can imagine him wanting to take things to the next level now that he's certain of Victor's support. It could lead to Cole planning a surprise marriage proposal, perhaps with a little help from Claire. Victoria might finally open her heart enough for an engagement, but that doesn't mean she'll get a happy ending with Cole. The writing may be on the wall for Victoria and Cole's romance to take a tragic turn. In the December 27 episode, Cole played up how Victor would die for his family before eventually suggesting he had the same level of commitment for Claire and Victoria. That could mean both Victor and Cole are headed into the danger zone. However, Victor is one of the show's most important characters and far more likely to survive whatever Jordan and Ian Ward have in store. Although Victor might come close to making the ultimate sacrifice, Cole could be the one who winds up 6 feet under. like Heather Stevens Cole, may become a character who faces a grim fate for drama's sake. In other words, Victoria and Cole's engagement may be in the works, but it could be the calm before the storm. I&R may make it seem like Victoria's going to live happily ever after, only to rip it all away from her if Cole doesn't make it. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victoria's bliss may be short-lived, so stay tuned for updates on any wedding plans that might end in tragedy. It's the place to be for terrific Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so make us your one-stop I&R source. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that the lands of Genoa City and Port Charles are set to collide in the most interesting of ways. Sharon Case recently hopped on social media to share an interesting crossover between her and General Hospital's Maurice Bernard, and CTS has all the exciting details. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon Case shares interesting crossover news on Instagram. As Soap fans know, Bernard doesn't only play PC's favorite mob boss, but he also happens to be the host of the YouTube podcast, State of Mind, a program that highlights mental health and wellness. Case shared the news that she's slated to appear on Bernard's show by simply posting a photo of herself with Sunny's portrayer, with the words, "Coming soon" on the pic. In the caption, she tagged GH and Y and R's IG handles, as well as Maurice's account and State of Minds. She simply wrote, "State of Mind with Maurice Bernard," adding a clock emoji. Bernard was quick to hit the comment section, stating, "You are such a sweetheart, Sharon." I&R spoilers. What State of Mind fans can expect. Much like GA's Sunny, Y&R's Sharon has bipolar disorder and has had multiple storylines linked to mental health. As Bernard also suffers from bipolar in real life, the interview should offer great insight, and it'll be interesting for fans of both GH and Y&R to watch these two soap opera legends converse. Right now, Sharon is coming out of a horrific storyline where her bipolar meds were tampered with, causing her to have awful hallucinations, dizzy spells, blackouts, and terrible thoughts. While I&R fans know that Jordan and Ian Ward are behind this all, Sharon does not. The only silver lining is that she does realize she was not the person behind Heather Stevens' demise or Phyllis Summers' car crash. But will any evidence surface to help exonerate her? Young and the Restless spoilers. Let's talk about the latest Young and the Restless spoilers, and it's a juicy one. Victor Newman has set up a loyalty test for Claire Newman, determined to find out just how devoted she is to the family. But the big question is, will Claire pass the test? Here's what we know. Victor has never been comfortable with Claire being anywhere near Kyle Abbott. Despite several warnings, Claire and Kyle have grown closer, and Victor is done with it. He didn't even want Claire to be Harrison Abbott's nanny because of the risk of her and Kyle bonding further. This week, Victor takes matters into his own hands. He's putting Claire to the test, forcing her to choose between her relationship with Kyle and her loyalty to the Newman family. Claire is head over heels for Kyle, especially after the quality time they've recently spent together. But this test might push her to the brink. Adding to the drama, Kyle's lingering feelings for Summer Newman are starting to surface. Kyle had initially allowed Claire to break the news to Harrison that she would no longer be his nanny. However, Summer intervenes, insisting that she and Kyle deliver the news together. To Claire's shock, Kyle agrees with Summer, leaving Claire feeling betrayed and blindsided. As if that weren't enough, Kyle learns that Summer is no longer seeing Chance Chancellor, which only complicates things further. Claire starts to suspect that Kyle might still harbor feelings for Summer. His actions suggest he's being pulled back into Summer's orbit, leaving Claire feeling confused and heartbroken. Victor's loyalty test could unintentionally push Kyle right back into Summer's arms, threatening to end whatever Claire and Kyle had been building. And if things couldn't get more complicated, there's a possibility that Claire might end up pregnant, adding another layer of turmoil to the situation. In the end, is Victor's meddling creating an even bigger problem for Claire? Could his actions tear her and Kyle apart for good? And if Claire is left with a lasting reminder of her time with Kyle, what will she do? Stay tuned for all the drama, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Phyllis Summers' relentless quest for justice. Phyllis Summers is not backing down in her mission to hold Sharon Newman accountable. In a recent interview with Soap Opera Digest, Stafford shared insights into Phyllis's unyielding pursuit of justice, revealing how a real-life tragedy inspired her performance. "I have a friend whose son was tragically killed by a hit-and-run driver," Stafford explained. "The driver had a history of DUIs and arrests, yet he and his friends worked hard to cover up the crime. It's an incredibly disturbing story, and I drew from my friend's pain to bring authenticity to these scenes." Stafford noted that many people can relate to the frustration of feeling justice has been denied. Losing a loved one often stirs overwhelming emotions and a fierce drive for accountability, feelings that Phyllis embodies as she. Despite new evidence emerging that points to Sharon's innocence, Phyllis remains in the dark about the full truth. Her skepticism is understandable given the circumstances, and her determination to seek justice remains unwavering. Interestingly, Stafford suggested that even if Phyllis learns the truth, it may not change her perspective. "I don't think there's anything Sharon could say to undo the damage," Stafford admitted. While Phyllis might eventually accept that Sharon wasn't directly responsible for Heather Stevens' death, the issue of Sharon disposing of Heather's body and framing Daniel Romalotti Jr. looms large. According to Stafford, Phyllis's protective instincts as a mother, her lioness nature, will likely prevent her from excusing Sharon's actions, even if Sharon wasn't in her right mind at the time. The deep-rooted animosity between these two women only adds fuel to the fire, making reconciliation seem nearly impossible. As more shocking revelations about Sharon come to light, The Young and the Restless promises intense drama ahead. Will Phyllis ever find closure, or will her grudge against Sharon continue to escalate? Stay tuned to see how this explosive storyline unfolds. The Young and the Restless spoilers, a breaking point. Sharon's fragile state pushes everyone to the edge. The tension surrounding Sharon Newman reaches a fever pitch as those closest to her, Nick and Chance, begin to lose their patience. What started as a quest for truth has spiraled into chaos as Sharon's mental health deteriorates and her credibility comes into question. Her insistence that she knows who killed Heather, despite failing to provide a name, has cast doubt even in the minds of her staunchest supporters. Sharon's desperate assertion. Sharon has been unwavering in her claim that Heather's death was not an accident but a murder. "There's someone out there," she insists repeatedly, her voice cracking with desperation. I can't see his face clearly yet, but I know he's real." Her conviction might have been enough to sway Nick and Chance under normal circumstances. However, Sharon's erratic behavior, exacerbated by accidentally taking the wrong medication, has left her more unstable than ever. As the days drag on without progress, the strain begins to show. Nick and Chance's growing doubts. Nick and Chance meet privately to discuss the situation, their frustration palpable. "How long are we supposed to wait?" Nick asks, his voice tinged with concern and exhaustion. She keeps saying she knows who it is, but she can't name him. "I don't even know if she believes it herself." Chance nods, his expression grim. "I want to believe her, Nick, but every lead she's given us has gone nowhere. What if this is all in her head? What if she's chasing ghosts?" Their conversation takes a darker turn as they consider Sharon's mental state. Nick, ever the protective figure, reluctantly proposes, maybe it's time to get her help. Real help. If she's losing her grip on reality, she needs treatment before it's too late. Sharon overhears the truth. Unbeknownst to Nick and Chance, Sharon has been standing just outside the door, listening to every word. Her heart sinks as their doubts wash over her, their lack of faith cutting deeper than she could have imagined. "They don't believe me," she whispers to herself, tears welling up in her eyes. "They think I'm crazy." The realization shatters Sharon's already fragile composure. She storms into the room, her voice shaking with a mix of anger and despair. "How dare you?" she demands, glaring at Nick and Chance. "You think I'm making this up? That I'm losing my mind? I've been fighting to protect you, to protect everyone, and this is how you repay me." Nick's difficult decision. Nick steps forward, his face edged with concern. "Sharon, we're not saying you're making it up," he says gently. "But you're not well. You've been through so much, and now with the medication. We just want to help you before things get worse." "Help me," Sharon spits, her voice rising. "You think locking me up in a psychiatric ward is helping me? You're giving up on me, Nick. You don't trust me." Nick sighs heavily, torn between his love for Sharon and the harsh reality of her condition. "I'm not giving up on you," he says firmly. "But I can't stand by and watch you fall apart. You need to rest to heal. We'll figure out the rest later." Chance's perspective. Chance, ever the pragmatist, tries to mediate. "Sharon," he begins, his tone measured, "none of this is about giving up on you. But we need answers, and we can't wait forever. If you're not in the right state of mind, how can we trust the answers you're giving us?" His words strike a nerve, and Sharon's anger boils over. "You're just like everyone else," she snaps. "You don't believe me. You think I'm broken, that I can't see the truth." The breaking point. The confrontation reaches its climax when Sharon storms out, leaving Nick and Chance to grapple with their decision. Nick buries his face in his hands, guilt and frustration eating away at him. "She's going to hate me for this," he says quietly. Chance places a reassuring hand on Nick's shoulder. "It's the right call," he says. "If she's not well, she can't help us, or herself. This isn't about taking sides. It's about saving her." Sharon's choice. As Sharon retreats to her own thoughts, her anger gives way to fear. She knows her actions have been erratic, but she also knows what she heard and saw. The killer is out there, she's certain of it. Faced with the possibility of being institutionalized, Sharon realizes she has two choices: fight to prove her sanity and uncover the killer's identity, or submit to Nick's plan and risk losing the clarity she desperately needs. The stakes have never been higher. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that Billy Abbott's blind rage towards Victor and thirst for revenge may bring back a character that fans are yearning to see. We know that Billy wants to shake the very foundations of Chancellor and then snatch the company for next to nothing. However, to make that happen, he needs an influx of cash. He recently requested Jack to be his investor, but sadly his brother refused. Even though Jack wants to support Billy, he does not want to do anything that would potentially hurt Nicky Newman. Besides, Jack would prefer that Billy put his energy into fixing his own life rather than walk down the path of revenge. Unfortunately, Billy does not appreciate Jack's point of view and disowns his brother. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that Billy now has to seek help from someone else. Preferably, someone who feels the same kind of hatred toward Victor Newman as Billy does. And we have the perfect person in our eye, Tucker McCall. The man is currently licking his wound after losing his company to Audra Charles. However, by now, he must have surely found out that Victor Newman was backing Audra at the time. So, needless to say, Tucker has an axe to grind with the mustache. Even though Tucker has a complicated history with the Abbotts, we have a feeling that he would agree to join forces with Billy Abbott if the latter were to approach him. Especially because Billy has snow-distanced himself from the rest of the Abbotts. Honestly, the two would make a really fierce duo, and it would be a nice twist to watch. The last time we saw Tucker on screen, actor Trevor Street John was portraying the character. Now, we don't know whether he would return to reprise the role or the makers would opt to recast. But one thing is for sure, if the character does return, It will be one explosive storyline. And we'll be right here to soak up the drama. So stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for more The Young and the Restless spoilers. Do you want to see Tucker return? Tell us in the comments. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Vale Bloom is set to return as Heather Stevens, but this time it won't involve any supernatural comebacks. Instead, Heather is expected to feature in a flashback during Sharon Newman's latest hypnosis session. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon's first session is Sharon's initial hypnotherapy session is set for, where Alan Laurent will guide her back to the night when Phyllis Summers was run off the road. As Sharon realizes she wasn't to blame for Phyllis' harrowing experience, her resolve to unravel the mystery of her blackout at Heather and Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s apartment will intensify. This is the same night she awoke to find Heather lifeless on the floor, yet she still lacks a complete understanding of the events that transpired. Although revisiting those memories may be distressing for Sharon, she is determined to face them head-on. This commitment is likely why Alan will hypnotize her again in the December 19 episode. By and are spoilers. Might Sharon recall a woman's voice, not Heather's? On December 19, Vale Bloom will return to her role as Heather Stevens, which sets the stage for her appearance in Sharon's hypnosis-driven flashback. This episode of Y&R will also feature Sharon and Nick Newman uncovering a shocking revelation, likely tied to the memories that Alan helped Sharon access. Nick will be anxious about Sharon's safety in the aftermath, suggesting she will remember something unsettling that indicates a malevolent presence in the apartment that night. It's possible Sharon will recall a woman's voice, and perhaps even a phone call if Jordan reached out to Ian Ward to inform him of her actions. Given Ian's concerns that Jordan might have left evidence at the crime scene, it's plausible that she did just that. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Might Sharon recall other details? Could Sharon remember those details and provide the police with a clue they can use, possibly hearing what Jordan said on the call to Ian? Regardless of the outcome, it seems that Sharon is on the verge of a significant reveal with the hypnosis session being conducted by Alan. While she might struggle to pinpoint who went after Heather, she will likely come to realize that she wasn't involved. Upcoming spoilers suggest that Vale Bloom's return as Heather Stevens will be pivotal in this development, so stay tuned for more thrilling updates regarding Sharon's shocking revelation. Who knows what memories might be uncovered as Alan and Sharon work together? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of December 30, January 3 reveal that Adam Newman may go into protective mode after Chelsea Lawson delivers some troubling updates. It's possible this will have something to do with Connor Newman's mental health if something triggers an OC-related setback. However, we also can't ignore the possibility that Chelsea will find out Ian Ward is back in Genoa City. If Adam finds out about Ian's return, he may vow to keep Chelsea and Connor safe from his old partner in crime. This could give Adam an opportunity to play the hero. Since Victor Newman offered to let Adam live in the old ranch house, Adam might pressure Chelsea and Connor to live there for their own protection. As for Ian, his plot to pull Tessa Porter closer may not work out much longer. Tessa currently believes Ian is a harmless prison chaplain named Warren Masters, but the truth about his identity is going to shock her sooner or later. Since Ian is the cult leader who threw Maria Copeland's life into turmoil, Tessa will eventually fume over getting duped. Maria and Tessa may come together to protect Area Porter Copeland from any danger that might be brewing. Of course, the moment Nick Newman discovers Ian's comeback, he may suspect that Ian had a hand in Sharon Newman's drugging and Heather Stevens' demise. Jordan has been doing Ian's dirty work, so it'll be interesting to see how her part in all this comes to light down the road. In the meantime, Billy Abbott's plot to make Victor Newman pay and get Chancellor back will come with some twists and turns. Will Billy drag Phyllis Summers into trouble just like Daniel Romalotti Jr. feared? Over with Nate Hastings and Audra Charles, they'll have to figure out the next steps in the search for Damien. After things take a wrong turn in Los Angeles, Audra and Nate will need to have a strategy session. Nathan Owens is expected to be playing Damien, but his first Y and R appearance isn't until January 8. That could mean Damien will give Nate and Audra the slip for a bit, but Nate will inevitably meet his half-brother in the not-too-distant future. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the week of December 30, January 3 will bring some curveballs, so stick with us for all the stunning news and more predictions on any erupting chaos. Tracy Abbott, a character from The Young and the Restless, has long struggled to define her identity outside the shadow of her more dynamic siblings in the Abbott family. While her brothers and sisters, Jack, Ashley, and Billy, were often involved in high-profile drama, Tracy was seen as the quieter, more intellectual sibling. This perception led her to feel overshadowed, and she longed to be recognized for her own talents, particularly as a writer, which placed her at odds with the family's more business-oriented legacy. Tracy's desire for independence was complicated by the pressure to conform to the Abbott family's expectations. While she wanted to prove herself on her own terms, she was often compared to her more successful and charismatic siblings. This internal conflict between her own aspirations and the family's legacy created significant emotional turmoil. Tracy struggled with the feeling that no matter what she achieved, it would never be enough to break free from the shadow of her family. Romantic relationships were another area where Tracy's search for identity became controversial. Her affair with Brad Carlton, who was also involved with her sister Ashley, caused a rift within the family and placed Tracy in a difficult position. This relationship and others highlighted Tracy's emotional vulnerability and her tendency to make decisions based on her desire for love and acceptance, often at the expense of her own values. In addition to her personal relationships, Tracy's career as a writer became another battleground for her identity. While her family was entrenched in the business world, Tracy chose a different path, seeking recognition in a field that, while respectable, lacked the same prestige. Her writing career often went unnoticed or was overshadowed by her family's accomplishments, deepening her desire to be seen as an individual rather than just the quiet Abbott sibling. Ultimately, Tracy Abbott's struggles with her identity revolved around the tension between her desire for independence and the pressure to conform to her family's expectations. Her journey was marked by emotional challenges, controversial decisions, and a constant search for validation. Tracy's character arc remains one of the most compelling in The Young and the Restless, as it reflects the universal struggle to define oneself in the face of familial expectations. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Michael Baldwin doesn't have to plead temporary insanity. Sharon Newman could have the charges against her dropped if evidence of who killed Heather Stevens emerges. Viewers know whose hand touched Sharon's shoulder just before she lost consciousness for a second time. Jordan Howard was in the condominium exacting a plot to frame Sharon for Heather's murder. Rather than facing a stacked deck and having to hope Sharon would be remanded to a psychiatric facility, Michael can now focus on determining who Heather's killer is and how that can be proven. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Phyllis Summers wants justice. Phyllis Summers believes this case is closed. Sharon confessed to killing Heather, dumping her body, and framing Daniel Romalotti. Stafford's character also believes that Sharon lured her onto the road near the cottage so she could eliminate her. But Sharon has come to believe that whoever is framing her for Heather's murder and the other crimes that were committed is also responsible for Phyllis' car crash. That driver, who the audience has been led to believe is Jordan, also caused Sharon to veer off the road. Daniel's and Lucy Romalotti's lives were demolished, which is why Phyllis wants justice. However, as Lauren Fenmore Baldwin tried telling her best friend, Phyllis needed to listen to Michael because new information existed about all that had happened. By and are spoilers. Michael Baldwin working by the book. He's long been considered the best lawyer in Genoa City, Wisconsin. Thankfully, he's representing Sharon because she needs the best defense possible. Nick Newman's Joshua Morrow hunch about Sharon's medication paid off big time. He suspected something was off, as the toxicology reports proved. So Michael hopes that the bombshell will cause Chance Chancellor, Connor Floyd, to be able to reopen the case. Michael didn't want Phyllis to know about the newest reveal, meaning the presence of a third person in Heather's condominium. Phyllis isn't interested in considering the facts of the case because she's purely seeking vengeance against Sharon. The young and the restless spoilers. Sharon Newman is motivated. Sharon had no idea that her medication was being manipulated. Her hypnosis sessions appeared to reveal that Jordan drugged her after Sharon accidentally knocked Heather unconscious. Knowing these new facts provides Sharon with plenty of motivation. She's also concerned that Daniel and Lucy are in danger because the unknown killer is on the loose. Jordan and Ian Ward are roaming the streets of GC. Jordan's been disguised, but Ian was unmasked when he spoke with Tessa Porter in Society. The risky behavior of both villains implies that needed evidence might be gained through the unforced errors that Jordan, Ian, or both make. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the young and the restless. Check back regularly for why and are spoilers and news.